It's funny to see how adult child will cut off from parents, then own child watches and learns from the adult child, and it repeats cycle. Do you mean funny haha? Or like funny ironic? Or what? I'm not really sure what you mean. And I didn't want to ask you to elaborate because I don't really care. I am snarky sparky today, so welcome to my channel, but she's your mother. Anywho, there's nothing funny about estrangement, full stop. We shouldn't have to be in a situation where relationships fall apart to the point that we can't have, I'm an estranged adult child, a relationship with our own parents. And by the way, it wasn't funny when my adult child estranged from me, but she didn't do it because of the example that was set. She did it because I passed down trauma and did some things that she didn't want to talk to me about. She was angry at me, and she had every right to be. P.S. We repaired our relationship. She trusted me enough to re-engage, and I was in a place where I was able to make it about her, because it was about her experience, validate her needs, and rebuild our relationship. And it's been over 20 years that we rebuilt that relationship, and the estrangement lasted like under 2 years. My estrangement from my mother, however, who's a sociopath and a narcissist, has stuck for well over 30 years. I broke the cycle of abuse so that my daughter wouldn't grow up thinking that that representation of hate was love. That's what my mother was showing. My mother was creating division. She was weaponizing one child against the other and against me, and all the things that happen in these sort of dynamics. And there are a lot of times actually when an adult child estranges and then their child also estranges, but it's not because of the example that was laid out for them. It's because there was other dysfunction that was happening. And that dysfunction, or passing down a trauma most of the time, it could be because there was abuse and other things as well. I'm really speaking in generalizations, but that those things were so traumatic for that child that when they grew up, they didn't want to have anything to do with that parent because they didn't really break the cycle when they estranged. Or it could be when they estranged, they made babies with someone who was familiar. They did the love that they know, and they raised their child in a substitute narcissistic family system, having gotten rid of theirs or been discarded by theirs, whatever the case may be. But it's not because of the example that was set, which is, I think, what you're insinuating here. And estrangements, FYI, don't need to be permanent. If my mother had taken accountability and become a safe person for me, I would have my mother in my life in spite of what she did to me throughout my childhood. Would she have deserved me to do that? Looking back, no. I mean, the woman did try to unalive me and eviscerate any chance of my self-esteem developing and all sorts of things. I mean, she left me with complex PTSD. She trained me how to be in abusive relationships. Nonetheless, if she had taken accountability and become a safe person in adulthood, I wanted her to be my mom so badly, I would have taken her under those circumstances. Hell, I tried, and I was willing to take her under even less circumstances, not even taking accountability. But 17 years in, I was willing to do that, not understanding that that doesn't actually heal relationships. And that actually wouldn't have been a relationship. It would have continued to be a relationship. Fortunately for me, she had no interest because I would have been sucked in for a while without question. And that would have been damaging to my children. Anywho, us estranging from our parents is not giving our children the idea that they should do the same with us. If they do the same with us, it's a direct reflection of the relationship and relationships we expose them to and the one that we formed with them. And the permanence of that is a direct reflection of our ability to take accountability and heal that relationship if we're given the opportunity. And fun little fact, within the first 3 years of estrangements, most, not all, we're not doing absolutes, adult children come back in the hopes of repairing the relationship. So to my estranged parents out there, if you're in your first 3 years, I hope you're doing the work to find out what went sideways and not blaming the internet and not attaching yourself to estranged parent platforms who have not repaired their relationships. And not only that, there are several out there where the adult children came back and they blew it. If that's what you're following, that's your future. Just saying.